Hey everybody. Okay, so I got tagged by Emmy to talk about how I feel about and how gender roles in the Jehovah's Witness organization have affected me in my life and how I think about it, or what I think about it. So, personally, I was raised from a child up into, my early preteen years, going to meetings as a kid, and both of my parents were in it until those early preteen years, until my dad started abusing drugs, hard drugs, and was kind of a MIA out of our lives. And my mom went to the elders and she said she needed support because he was not there. He was an absentee parent and he was robbing, the money out of all the accounts and everything. And she had no way to prove if he was committing adultery, but he would be gone for days at a time on tweet binges, and there was nothing that she could do about it. And so, that sense of powerlessness that I saw in my mother, who was a very strong and dedicated person, and who loved my father very much, but loved us more, and, wanted to stay a part of the congregation, but also was kind of confused by the lack of willingness that the brothers really wanted to give her in helping her to, at least try to find out, that if my dad was, staying somewhere or something. So eventually, I'm not sure exactly what the circumstances were, but it disfellowshipped my dad on the grounds of adultery because he had repeatedly been missing, like overnight, I guess. And she got to leave, and, the way that everything was structured was, the other families in the congregation, they were supportive and they were friendly and they did, the brotherly thing to do. They were, part of our lives. But, there's really no replacing that. And also, my mom was a single sister who had been previously married, who had two small daughters. Well, we were like 9 and 11. My mom couldn't really go and try to find, some companionship. The way that it's structured is so limiting and so dominating over women, and it really kind of treats them like lesser beings when I really think about it. I mean, they really take that to the extreme, like Banana Graveyard was talking about how the Jehovah's Witnesses feel that the prophecy in Genesis, where God decrees after Adam and Eve have eaten of the tree of the fruit of the tree, that the woman's craving will be for her husband and that he'll have dominion over her. He was bringing out the fact that that was something that, is just something that we should accept, even if it's, for the benefit or not of the situation. When it comes down to it, a man's word is higher over a woman's, and with the organizational structure and so on. And it disturbs me when I think about it. And I think it also leads to an internal tension and subconscious jealousy within the females, because they go on stage, they can't even look at each other. They can't even look out onto the audience of their own brothers and sisters. They have to look at each other in a role-playing type situation, and they really have a lot of respect taken away from them, even though I think the majority of the women are the ones doing most of the preaching work. And so maybe that's why there's so much infighting and jealousy, and why it's like a little internal policing system, how the brothers, get reported to, the elders, get reported from their wives, what's the goings on in the congregation, and it's strange. It's just the way that old kind of mentality still permeates that life. Like, we don't live in a time now where a man can really just have a job and really take care of things. Like, two people really need to provide for a family. It's not 1961 anymore, and the Watchtower's ideals are still stuck in, that time. Especially, they don't encourage women, especially the single women. They're like, the women are a large army. Get out in the field, and, maybe you'll meet a brother out there. Sweep you off your feet. Maybe he won't be half ugly. And it's really sad. They go to sleep at night smiling, in their beds, thinking about that very sad, mediocre dream. And I don't, with all the, horrible treatment of women, too, in the media, it's also kind of reciprocates, and it kind of repeats that, like, that same idea that women are, just flawed creatures, more so than men in a way. Like, it's really not a healthy attitude to have towards yourself. And, why do we necessarily need that man? Like, the congregation with my mom was always trying to, everybody was always trying to give my mom, like, little parenting tips and kind of be involved sort of in the direction that she took with us. And my mom doesn't take people's, criticism of her parenting very lightly, especially from other older people in the congregation who didn't have children, or, it doesn't apply. And, later on, I was about 14, I decided that I'm not going to go anymore and that you can't make me. And I kind of broke my mom, which I guess was kind of good, because, she didn't want to go by herself. It was shameful, and that whole mentality, even though, it was bad at the time, like, did that affect that whole structure? It does. It removes your power, and, the whole structure of it makes it so that you are convinced that you need somebody to hold your hand and drag you around and tell you everything to do, or else you're going to do your life the wrong way. Like, why? Why would you carry around that kind of belief to benefit yourself? It doesn't work. If you're a Christian, then read the Bible. If you're a Muslim, then read the Quran. Whatever floats your boat, but do you really need another man between you and God? Like, that confuses me. And personally, I'm really lucky because I found a person who doesn't see me as lesser, and he really considers what I think about situations, and, like, before he makes a, financial decision, or if he wants to do something, he always is like, would you like to do this, or how do you feel about this? And it's nice. I really feel like a lot of women don't get to have that, and being that I'm the kind of person that I expect that kind of respect in the first place, because I give that kind of respect in the first place, it's, I just think that's the way things should be. So in response to everything, if you're going to pretend like you really want to be subservient, but in your heart you're jealous, then why even pretend? Just be equal. Some people, can be that way, and some people can't. It's just the way we're made. We're just like this. And, we're not bad people if we're a little bit more controlling than not, or, it's just the way we are. And, no organization can dictate every aspect of everyone's life, and how they run their household, and how they teach their children, and how they wear their hair, and how they do everything. No one can tell a family how to do everything, and they have the audacity to think they can. And yeah, that will piss some people off. Yeah, especially me. So, yeah, that was my rant. So, I will make more videos later. I've been lagging, but all you guys who got tagged and who made videos, you're awesome.